Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are talking about another Limit 1 Festival deck with Witchcrafters. Now, this is more Witchcrafter and a whole bunch of other things, just because I did want to play a 60-card deck, and yeah, so this is the deck list. It's kind of crazy. We're running Shaddoll's, Dogmatika, Witchcrafter, and Invoked, and Danger. A whole bunch of different stuff, and in 60 cards. Is this deck very good? No. But I like Witchcrafters. I really enjoy playing Witchcrafters for these festivals, and so yeah, let's just hop into the card by card. Since we have so many cards to go over, I'm not going to explain all of them. First of all, with the Witchcrafter stuff, we are playing 1 Genny, 1 Pottery, 1 Pittore, 1 Shmieta, 1 Edel. Normally I don't play this card, because it's kind of a brick, but I just kind of wanted as many Witchcrafters as we could get, and so there you go. 1 Hane, 1 Vere, and 1 Golem. We're also playing one of all of the Witchcrafter spells: Creation, Holiday, Collaboration, Draping, Unveiling, Scroll by Street, and of course 1 Masterpiece and 1 Patronus. Moving on to the next archetype, we're playing Shaddoll's: 1 Hedgehog, 1 Wendy, 1 Squamata, 1 Dragon, 1 Beast, and I swear there was one more. I could be wrong. I think I'm wrong. I was thinking of playing Ariel. That was the other one. I don't have it in this deck. Realistically, is it worth it? Probably, given the fact that a lot of people are going to be playing Graveyard Reliant strategies. But all in all, I'm not playing it in this version. So, whoops. Kind of a mistake. Anyway, we're also playing Alistair and Invocation, and of course Artemis. So yeah, Alistair's in here as well. And then we are playing Dogmatikas as well. Dogmatika, Ecclesia, Fleur-de-Lis. I'm not playing Maximus because realistically I don't really feel like it's worth it. I probably should, but yeah, I'm just not. 1 Nadir Servant, and then 1 Dogmatic Punishment. Yeah, moving on. We are also playing Dangers, 1 each of all of the Dangers except for Bigfoot. So 1 Tsuchinoko, 1 Jackalope, 1 Mothman, 1 Chupacabra, 1 Danger Nessie, and 1 Thunderbird. And that's basically it. Yeah, let's move on to the... Oh, sorry. 4 Shaddolls, I forgot to mention, 1 Fusion, and 1 Schism. And then for Alistair, we're obviously playing the Magical Meltdown. Forgot to mention those. Yeah, let's just move on to the rest of the cards. We're obviously playing 1 Maxi, 1 Ash Blossom. We are also playing 1 Armageddon Knight. This card's just a very good normal summon for the deck, because it gets you into your Shaddoll combos, and yeah, that's mostly why it's there. 1 Snow. Snow is absolutely crazy in this deck, since you're sending so many cards to the graveyard. Being able to just, like, send Snow, which is then an additional summon, or additional, like, disruption, is pretty nice. 1 Pank, 1 Gamma Seal, 1 Nibiru, 1 Raigeki, Feather Duster, Mind Control. You don't need to play this card. You can play something else, just like any spell, basically. Just one of the spells that I happen to have. This card's okay. 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Terraforming, Metal Foes, Foolish Burial good, 1 Grass, 1 Pot of Extravagance, since realistically we don't need most of our extra deck if we get into our Witchcrafter stuff. We are playing 1 Lightning Storm, 1 Pot of Prosperity, 1 Super Poly, 1 Called By, 1 Droplets, 1 Imperm, 1... oh no, that's it. That's all of the cards. There you go. Moving on to the extra deck, we are playing 1 Entis, 1 Winda, 1 Raijin. Yeah, I don't know. Most of this is just like filler. 1 Apcalone, 1 Purgatrio, 1 Construct, 1 Algides, 1 Titaniclad, 1 Mechaba. These are all of our fusions. Moving on, we are playing 1 Borbo, 1 Chalkanine, and 1 Zeus, in case we end up summoning out 2 different level 4s, so that we can go into the Chalkanine, Borbo, Zeus line. 1 Artemis for the Alistair, 1 Blackluster Soldier, reason being, we're playing all cards with different names, so might as well play this card because it's pretty good, and then 1 Underworld Goddess. That's the entire deck. I mean, I'm not going to try and explain what Witchcrafters do or anything like that. Let's just hop into the replays and see how this deck actually performs. Alright, so here we are in our first duel, going first with a a hand. It's not the greatest, but it's fine. So we're gonna go Tsuchinoko, and of course it gets sniped. Also, this was played in a duel room prior to the event. So if I do duel rooms every once in a while, and if you want to check out the duel rooms and check out the streams, just make sure you turn on notifications so that you are aware as to when the streams go live. But yeah, so that's why my opponent's hand is currently visible, and they are playing. I'll just let you watch what happens. Anyway, we're going to summon the Such. We're going to go a Nadir Servant. We're going to send the App Cologne to the graveyard. So App Cologne can grab the Schism, and then we're going to send the Pottery to the graveyard. We're going to normal summon the Ecclesia that we searched off of the Nadir Servant to search out the Dogmatika Punishment. We're going to set 2 and pass. Now, we have Schism for a Winda, which is pretty nice. They're going to go for E Emergency Call to grab Elemental Hero Neos. They're going to normal summon the Armageddon Knight, and they are going to send the Shadow Mist. Shadow Mist is fine, and it's going to activate in order to search out Ferris. They're going to activate the Ferris effect. They're going to pitch the Celestial. We're going to go for Schism here to lock them out of the special summoning. And yeah, so we're going to banish the Tsuchinoko as well as the App Cologne in order to go into a Winda. We're going to then send the Armageddon Knight away just in case they had potential additional plays. They're going to go to the battle phase. Now, they did search the Honest Neos, so I do know that they have it. So I'm like, okay, I can't let that happen. So we are going to Dogmatika Punishment them and then send the Titaniclad. Titaniclad is then going to special summon out the Fleur-de-Lis, and at this point we have quite a bit of damage on our side of the field. And we draw into Metal Foes Fusion. Now, with a Witchcrafter, this is actually pretty good. So we're going to go for Genny into a Shmieta. Now, realistically, should I have gone potentially for something else? Maybe something like Iveri would have been better, just in case I did end up drawing a spell. But, yeah. Then Harpy's Feather Duster, the Orcus Crescendo, which means that they get back one of their, well, they get this guy, which is basically full combo if they are able to normal summon it. Now, I don't have lethal because Winda cannot attack directly, and I accidentally forgot to get an additional 500 damage off of Ecclesia. However, no matter what I summoned, even off of the Genny, I didn't have lethal there, so not a whole lot that I could have done. And they go for a Monster Reborn. Wow, okay. So they're going to Monster Reborn into a Shadow Mist. Now, my opponent told me that this was a misclick. They should have put it into attack so that they could have Honest Neos here. But they accidentally put it in defense, which means now they have to waste their normal summon on this Liquid Soldier that they have. But they do get to go for the Mask Change here. So they're going to normal summon the Liquid Soldier. They're going to activate the Honest Neos and attack in. Now, we don't have anything that we can actually grab off of this window, so there's that. They're going to go for the Dark Law here, and they're going to attack into the Shmieta, which is going to get banished. We're going to activate the Schism here in order to bring out Construct as well. And then we will Construct, and I don't know why I activate Construct, but I do, and I banish the Dragon. It's not that bad, though, given the fact that we don't really want to draw a Dragon at this point. We draw into Forbidden Droplets, which is, I mean, it's okay. But at this point, we can just Gamma Seal them, and the game is basically won. I can just attack in with both of my monsters and win. I could have also just attacked in with the Fleur-de-Lis, boosted up, and dealt lethal damage that way. But I didn't quite do the math correctly, and I literally just forgot that Fleur-de-Lis has that activated effect. But yeah, there you go. Good game. Alright, so here we are once again going first with a really good going second hand. I'm going to set 2, and then activate Thunderbird. Thunderbird is going to pitch the Masterpiece, and we draw into Harpy's Feather Duster. So I'm literally just sitting on Thunderbird pass. However, my opponent is playing Dark Lords. Or I guess it's more of like Dark Fairies, or just Fairies, I guess, because they have Loa in here. So there's that. They're going to go for the Eggshell here. They're going to send to the graveyard the Uprising. We're going to Called by that. So no draw 2 for them, and this Monster Reborn is also turned off since there are literally no monsters in the graveyard. They're going to set the Called by and pass the turn. During the end phase, we are going to activate the effect of our Masterpiece in order to special summon out the Genny. we're going to draw into Wendy here, and I'm going to activate the Harpy's Feather Duster instead of utilizing it for the Genny because I'm scared of that back row. Then I'm going to set the Wendy and just proceed to battle and deal quite a bit of damage. So there you go. They draw Albion, the Shrouded Dragon, so they're going to activate it in order to go for the Fallen of Albaz. They draw into a Maxi, which is very funny. Then they are going to Monster Reborn into the Fallen of Albaz. Fallen of Albaz is then going to use its effect, pitching the Morningstar in order to fuse away our Thunderbird and itself to go into Titaniclad. Now, Titaniclad is just big. That's all it is. It's just big. And then they attack into Wendy. Literally... Well, okay, it's not the worst option, but it's not the greatest either. Because now we get to set a Hedgehog, and now that they have a monster on their side of the field, we can also Fleur-de-Lis in the... at the end of main phase 2, in order to just special summon it out. They're also going to Max CS to draw a card, which is... Okay. Sure. They actually draw into Nadir Servant, which is crazy. But I'm not going to give them an extra turn. So we're going to flip up this Shaddoll Hedgehog in order to go for the Shaddoll Fusion. Shaddoll Fusion is going to allow us to send the Beast and the Snow to the graveyard for Construct. Construct's effect is going to activate. We're going to also chain the Beast. We're going to draw the Pot of Prosperity. I'm actually going to send to the graveyard the Schism, just so that we can grab it if we need to. Then we are going to... we're going to activate Genny's effect in order to special summon out the Hane here. And then we are going to normal summon the Dragon, and this is lethal. So we're going to attack in with Construct, attack in with everything else, and then deal lethal damage. Good game. Alright, this duel I found to be rather funny, given this card in particular. Secret Village of the Spellcaster, and I'll show you in a second. So they're going to go Spellbook into Spellbook of Knowledge, and then they are going to link the Blue Boy into Artemis. They're going to activate Secret Village, and then set a Drowning Mirror Force as well, and pass. Now, did you know that Snow's attribute and type is a light spellcaster? Why in the world is Snow a spellcaster? I don't know, but... that means while I did draw a Shaddoll Fusion, we can literally just normal summon the Snow and then activate our Shaddoll Fusion. Which is hilarious to me. It's so unbelievably funny. Secret Village of the Spellcaster, yeah, you know. If you control only you control spellcaster monsters, your opponent cannot activate spell cards. No spell cards. No spell cards. Anyway, we're going to activate the Construct and the Squamata, and they have Effect Veiler, because of course they do. So they're going to negate us. We're going to send the Wendy to the grave off of the Squamata. We're going to set the Beast, and then we're just going to proceed to the battle phase. We're going to attack in with Snow, and then get Drowning Mirror Force. Wow, okay. We're going to set one... I genuinely don't know why I set the Metal Foes Fusion, but I didn't. However, it doesn't really matter, given the fact that my opponent is literally locked out of the game due to Secret Village, because they don't have a spellcaster. So they cannot play the game. Not that the cards in their hand would be particularly useful, but there's that. So I'm going to go for Beast here. I'm going to draw into Thunderbird as well as Invoker. We're going to send the Thunderbird to the graveyard. I also drew into Fleur-de-Lis, but we're going to set the Alistair because there's no point in normal summoning it, and then go for the Invocation. We're going to go into Mechaba by banishing their Effect Veiler, doing the standard Alistair stuff. And then we are going to special summon the Fleur-de-Lis, and this is now lethal on our side of the field because Fleur-de-Lis can boost up by 500, which I don't think is necessary, but yeah, it wasn't necessary, but still, there we go. Good game. Alright, so here we are, I believe, going second this time, and we are playing up against Tri-Brigade Ancient Warriors. They're also playing MST, which is very, very funny. Now, the card that they just added to their hand is something that is basically just a hand trap. At the start of the damage step, if an Ancient Warrior monster battles an opponent's face-up monster, you can special summon this card. The monster loses its as an attack, and also all Ancient Warrior monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. So, there you go. And then if a card your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target a card your opponent controls to destroy it. There you go. We drew a fairly decent hand. Notably, we drew Imperm, which means while this Karos comes down, we can also just negate it. So they're going to go Karos for 3 here, and we are just going to imperm, meaning they can't really do anything. They're going to set 2 and pass the turn. So we draw Maxi for turn, of course, right on time. We're going to go Foolish Burial, sending Squamata. Squamata is going to then send the Wendy, and Wendy is going to special summon out the Hedgehog. Then we are going to activate the Thunderbird, and we're going to send away the Draping. We're going to go for the Thunderbird, and we draw into Lightning Storm, which is very, very funny. But we're going to attack into the Karos and pass the turn. They draw Fractal, which is actually pretty crazy. I'm actually going to just activate the Maxi here, because I don't want them to go into Ferrigite. They could have gone Ferrigite here, which could have potentially done something. I don't know what it would have done, but they could have. So I was like, okay, let's just Maxi here, since I also know that this guy is most likely coming down. I'm going to grab up Fusion, which is really a mistake. There's nothing that I can really do off of a Fusion, but it ends up winning me the game in the end. And then I draw into an Invocation off of the Maxi draw, of course. So yeah, they're going to clear my field, and now all of a sudden, Lightning Storm is viable. Now, the question is, spells or monsters? And in all honesty, the monsters are looking way more scary than the spells and traps. Sure, 2 set back row are very scary, but yeah, not being able to kill things by battle is kind of worrisome. So yeah, I'm going to Lightning Storm and take out all of the monsters, and since they're all in attack mode, that's pretty good for me. I'm going to go Pittore, pitch the Invocation, and then go into Shmieta and just attack in. There's not really a whole lot more that I could do at this point, so I'm just going to end the turn, and we get Draping back since it was in the graveyard, and now we have, during the end phase, a Witchcrafter on our side of the field. They draw into a Turquoise Warbler, and just keep it in mind, this card can special summon itself as well as another Lyrilisk from the hand. We draw into Masterpiece, which is okay, but it does allow us to go Pittore, which can then pitch it. So, we actually never really want to see this card in our hand. It's terrible in our hand because its trap effect is to target a spell and add a card of the same name. We literally cannot do that. So, there's that. However, we are going to go into Madame Vere here so that we get a light target. Then we are going to activate the Shmieta in order to send Holiday to the graveyard. Here, I actually contemplated whether or not I should go for the Shaddoll Fusion here, because realistically, I didn't know if it was more worth it to keep the Vere on our side of the field to potentially get these two back to our hand, or if it was more worth it to go for the Shaddoll half of our engine, given the fact that we've already used some of it. I decided to go for the Shaddoll Fusion here to go into Construct so that we can at least put some damage onto them. So we're going to go Beast into Construct because I want Beast's draw effect more than I want Construct's mill effect. So we actually draw into Armageddon Knight, which is fantastic because now we can go Shaddoll Dragon in order to pop the last back row, and that's fantastic for us, allowing us to go into Patronus or set the Patronus without it getting popped, which means that we can get an additional spell to our hand, which is very, very nice. And we get to recycle these guys. Now, they drew Sapphire Swallow, another Lyrilisk, which means, sorry, I had to cough. This means that they could go into a Zeus, right? They can go into a 2 activation Zeus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate the Patronus. I'm going to shuffle back the Shmieta, and then I'm going to add the Collaboration to our hand. Realistically, this should not have been Collaboration. It should have been Creation, but all in all, it's not going to end up mattering. So they are going to go into the Assembled Nightingale. Assembled Nightingale is going to attack directly twice, and then they are going to go into a Zeus. They have 400 life points as well, so I just need like the littlest bit of damage. So out comes the Zeus. They are going to wipe the field. And Construct is going to grab up the Shaddoll Fusion. Now, we also have the Patronus Engrave, which means during our turn, we can banish it in order to... we can banish it after we banish some Witchcrafter stuff with the Masterpiece in order to grab it back, notably Holiday. And Holiday should be just enough. So we are going to activate the effect of our Masterpiece in the end phase in order to go into Shmieta. Now, if my opponent had activated Zeus right here, right, in draw or standby phase, I probably lose this game. because it can't really do... Like, I guess I don't. Because I could have gone and grabbed Holiday and then just special Vere and then just kind of sat on that. But still, like, it would have been way harder for me. Anyway, we do get the Shmieta off, which allows us to go into Hane, which then allows us to pop the Zeus. Zeus is going to activate, he's going to wipe the Hane at the very least, but it doesn't matter because at this point we can activate the Patronus in our graveyard, add back the Holiday. That is the only one that really matters. We're going to add back the Holiday. We're going to activate Shmieta. I don't know why I do this. Just to get the creation into rotation so that at the very least I'm not, like, dumb. And then we go in for lethal. Good game. So, as you can tell, this deck is not the greatest. I had a lot of duels that I just lost because I drew terribly. But, notably, it does do a lot of different things pretty well. It can lock your opponent down with Winda, which is very nice. I think that this format is going to be very combo-centric, given the fact that a lot of the really good floodgates are specifically banned, as well as I think that floodgates, when they are more inconsistent, or when you only have one or two traps that are pretty good, it becomes way less viable to play. So all in all, I do think that having something like a Winda is pretty nice. On top of that, I just think that the deck in general is pretty good. If you draw Alistair, you kind of just win the game sometimes, just because, like, Mecha Mechaba is really, really strong with the additional follow-up. And yeah, you're also able to play a million going second cards, as well as a million going first cards. So all in all, it has potential. It's not the greatest of 60-card grass decks. Something like Thunder Dragon, Dragon Link would be much better, but all in all, it's still very fun and very funny as well. So that's the deck. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy this episode. If you did, a like is very much appreciated, and if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.